Behind every sparkling smile lies a story nobody talks about. And today, Dolly Parton's untold struggle will break your heart. You think you know Dolly Parton, the wigs, the rhinestones, the infectious laugh that could light up any room. But what's happening to her right now in 2025 is something most fans have no idea about. December 2025 was supposed to be magical. Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas had everything ready. 6 nights of pure Dolly magic. Fans had bought tickets months in advance. Hotels were booked. People were flying in from different countries. Everyone wanted to see the icon who never stops, never slows down, never disappoints. But then came the announcement that shocked everyone. The shows were canceled. Not just postponed for a few weeks, but pushed back an entire year to September 2026. The official reason was vague. Health challenges, medical procedures needed. Something about a 100,000-mile checkup, said with that classic Dolly humor we all love. But here's what they didn't tell you right away. This wasn't just about getting older or needing a simple procedure. When you're 79 years old and you've spent every single day of your life working, performing, creating, and giving to others, your body eventually sends you a message you can't ignore. And Dolly's body was screaming at her to stop. The problem is, stopping isn't something Dolly Parton knows how to do. She's the woman who wakes up at 3 in the morning to write songs. She's the woman who juggles a dozen projects at once and makes it look easy. She's the woman who built an empire while making everyone else feel like family. Then something happened that terrified her millions of fans worldwide. Dolly's sister, Frida Parton, went on social media and asked people to pray for Dolly. Now, in the Parton family, asking for prayers isn't something you do lightly. This family is private. They're close-knit. They protect each other fiercely. So when Frida asked the world to pray, people knew something serious was happening. The internet exploded with worry. Fans started sharing their favorite Dolly moments. Old concert videos surfaced. People wrote emotional messages about what Dolly meant to them. The fear in everyone's heart was the same. Was this the beginning of the end? Was the woman who seemed immortal actually mortal after all? Frida later came back and tried to calm everyone down. She said Dolly was just a little under the weather, that maybe people were worrying too much. But the damage was done. The truth was out there. Dolly Parton, the strongest woman in country music, was struggling, and no amount of reassurance could erase that fundamental shift in how we see her. For the first time in decades, we realized that Dolly won't be here forever. That thought alone is enough to break your heart. But wait, there's more to this story that will crush you. Just weeks ago, Dolly was supposed to show up at Dollywood. This is her theme park in Tennessee, the place she built to honor her roots and give back to her community. She loves Dollywood like it's her own child. She never misses important events there. But this time, she couldn't make it. And when the reason came out, people understood why. She had a kidney stone and a serious infection. If you've never had a kidney stone, let me tell you, people say it's one of the worst pains a human can experience. Some compare it to childbirth. It's not something you can just push through with positive thinking. Your body shuts down. The pain is unbearable. You need medical help immediately. For a woman whose calendar is packed months ahead, who has commitments all over the world, who has built her reputation on never letting anyone down, being forced to cancel must have felt like failure. But it wasn't failure. It was her body telling her what she refused to accept. You can't run on empty forever. You can't give and give and give without taking time to refill your own cup. And Dolly has been running on fumes for longer than anyone realizes. Now here's where this story takes a turn that will absolutely destroy you. Because all of these health problems aren't happening in a vacuum. They're happening while Dolly is dealing with the worst thing that's ever happened to her. In March 2025, just 7 months ago, her husband Carl Dean died. He was 82 years old. And before you think this was just another celebrity marriage, let me tell you about Carl and Dolly. They were married for almost 60 years. 60 years. In Hollywood, marriages last about as long as a sneeze. But Carl and Dolly built something real. They met in 1964 outside a laundromat in Nashville. Dolly was 18 and had just arrived in the city to chase her country music dreams. Carl was 21, and according to Dolly, he hollered at her from his pickup truck. 2 years later, they got married on May 30th, 1966. But here's what made them special. Carl didn't want fame. He didn't want to be in the spotlight. He never walked red carpets with Dolly. He didn't go to award shows. He barely gave interviews. He wanted a quiet life, and Dolly respected that. She kept their relationship private and sacred. While the world knew Dolly the superstar, only Carl knew the real woman behind the persona. Carl was her home base. He was the person she came back to after world tours and movie premieres. He was the one who saw her without makeup, without the wig, without the act. He loved her for who she really was, not for what she could do or how famous she was. And when you have that kind of love, that kind of foundation for 60 years, losing it doesn't just break your heart, it breaks your entire world. Everything Dolly knew about her life included Carl. Every decision she made considered him. Every success was sweeter because she could share it with him. And now he's gone. Dolly tried to do what she always does when emotions overwhelm her. She wrote a song. In March, around the time Carl passed away, she released a ballad called "If You Hadn't Been There." It's a tribute to him, a love letter, a way of saying thank you for 60 years of love and support. When you listen to that song, you can hear the pain in her voice. You can hear the tears she's trying to hold back. You can feel the weight of loss in every note. It's raw in a way that even Dolly's saddest songs have never been before. But then something happened that should terrify anyone who knows Dolly's story. She stopped writing music. Let that sink in for a moment. Dolly Parton, who has written over 3,000 songs in her lifetime, has stopped writing. This is a woman who describes songwriting as breathing. It's not a job for her. It's not even a hobby. It's how she processes life. It's how she deals with emotions. It's how she makes sense of the world. She's written songs in the middle of the night, in airports, on buses, and hotel rooms. Music is as essential to her as air and water. But the grief of losing Carl is so overwhelming that even music can't help her. She said publicly that she can't bear the emotional toll of writing songs while grieving. Think about how deep that pain must be. The one thing that has always saved her, the one tool she's always had to process difficult emotions, doesn't work anymore. The well is dry. The words won't come. And without her music, without her ability to create, Dolly is facing her grief with no armor, no protection, no way to transform the pain into something beautiful. This is the reality of what Dolly is dealing with right now. She's not just managing health problems. She's not just recovering from kidney stones and infections. She's doing all of that while carrying a grief so heavy it has silenced her voice. Every doctor's appointment is a reminder that Carl isn't there to come home to. Every canceled show is another moment of feeling like she's letting people down. Every morning she wakes up and has to remember all over again that the person who was her constant for 60 years is gone forever. That's the burden she's carrying while trying to smile for the cameras and reassure her fans that everything will be okay. But Dolly being Dolly, she's still trying to show up in whatever way she can. This November, she's releasing a new book called Star of the Show: My Life on Stage. The timing is both beautiful and heartbreaking. She's writing about her life in the spotlight while being forced to step away from that very spotlight. The book becomes a way to stay connected to fans when her body won't let her perform. It's her way of saying, I'm still here, I still have something to give you, even if I can't give it to you on a stage right now. And there's more coming. A Broadway musical about her life is scheduled to open in 2026. Imagine what that will be like for her. Watching actors play out her life story. Seeing her struggles and triumphs performed in song and dance. Reliving her greatest moments and darkest days while sitting in the audience grieving her husband. It will be a celebration of an incredible life. But for Dolly, it might also feel like watching a life that no longer exists. A version of herself that had Carl by her side. Through everything, Dolly hasn't stopped giving to others. Last week on October 16th, she supported an event called Empty Bowls Dinner in Manitoba, Canada. This event raises awareness about people who don't have enough food to eat. Dolly donated a bowl she painted and signed herself for a celebrity auction. It's a small thing, but it shows you who she is. Even when her own life is falling apart, even when she's struggling just to get through each day, she finds ways to help others. Her imagination library still sends free books to children around the world. The Dollywood Foundation keeps supporting education in Tennessee. She keeps giving because giving is what keeps her going. This generosity is part of how Dolly built a fortune estimated at $650 million. But unlike most celebrities with that kind of money, Dolly doesn't hoard it. She pours it back into communities and causes. Her wealth comes from music, acting, songwriting, Dollywood, and smart business decisions. But what makes her truly rich isn't the money. It's the love she's created, the lives she's changed, the hope she's given to millions of people who needed to believe that dreams can come true. Right now, we're watching something profound happen. We're watching Dolly Parton transform from superhuman to human. For decades, she seemed invincible. She could do anything, be anywhere, handle everything. But in 2025, we're seeing her limits. We're seeing her vulnerability. We're seeing her humanity. And strangely, this makes her even more lovable. Because we've all lost people we love. We've all had health problems. We've all had to cancel plans because our bodies or our hearts wouldn't cooperate. In showing us her struggles, Dolly is giving us permission to acknowledge our own. The Vegas residency, postponed until September 2026, now looks different. It's not just a rescheduled concert series. It's Dolly choosing herself for once. It's her saying that even she needs time to heal, time to grieve, time to get her body and spirit right before she can give us the show we deserve. And that choice, from a woman who has spent her entire life putting others first, is revolutionary. September 2026 is still almost a year away. By then, it will be about 18 months since Carl died. Maybe the worst of the grief will have passed. Maybe her health will be stable. Maybe she'll have found a way to carry her loss while stepping back into the spotlight. Or maybe she'll need more time. Maybe she'll make another difficult choice. The truth is, nobody knows. Grief doesn't follow schedules. Healing isn't predictable. And at 79, the body has its own timeline that doesn't care about Vegas shows or fan expectations. What we do know is this: Dolly Parton has survived things that would have broken most people. She grew up in crushing poverty in a one-room cabin with 11 siblings. She fought through the sexism of the music industry in the 60s and 70s. She survived bad business deals and had to rebuild her career from nothing. She's faced constant judgment about her appearance, her intelligence, her choices. And she did it all with grace and humor and an unshakable sense of self. So yes, she can survive this too. But surviving isn't the same as being okay. And right now, Dolly isn't okay. And that's okay too. When Frida asked for prayers, when fans worried, when the news spread about Dolly's struggles, there was also faith underneath the fear. Faith that Dolly has faced worse. Faith that her spirit is stronger than her weakest moment. Faith that even if she never performs again, even if the Vegas shows never happen, Dolly Parton's impact on this world is already complete. She's already done enough. Anything else is extra. Anything else is a gift we should be grateful for, not something we're entitled to. There's something powerful about watching our heroes age and struggle. It reminds us that fame doesn't protect you from pain. Money doesn't shield you from loss. Success doesn't make grief any easier. Dolly is showing us how to be human when everything falls apart. She's showing us that it's okay to step back, to say no, to put yourself first. She's showing us that grief is real and valid and sometimes all-consuming. She's showing us that even the strongest people need help. As we wait to see what happens in September 2026, we're really waiting to see what's possible for all of us. Because Dolly has always been more than an entertainer. She's been a mirror showing us our best selves. If she can find her way through this darkness, if she can come out the other side still smiling, still generous, still somehow herself despite losing everything that mattered most, then maybe we can too. Maybe our own grief and struggles aren't the end. Maybe they're just hard chapters in a longer story. So here's the truth as 2025 ends. Dolly Parton is facing the hardest year of her life. She's grieving her husband of 60 years. She's managing serious health issues. She's 79 and finally showing her age. But she's still here. She's still writing books and planning musicals and helping others and painting bowls for charity auctions. She's still Dolly, even if Dolly looks different now, sounds more tired, carries more visible weight. And that's not a tragedy. That's life. That's what it means to love deeply and lose greatly. That's what it means to push yourself to the limit and then have to respect your boundaries. That's what it means to build something so meaningful that even in your darkest hour, you can look back and know it mattered. The real story here isn't about canceled concerts or kidney stones or even about Carl's death. The real story is about resilience and courage. It's about continuing when everything in you wants to stop. It's about accepting help after a lifetime of being the strong one. Dolly Parton is teaching us one final lesson, that it's okay to not be okay, that healing takes time, that grief deserves space, that your worth isn't measured by what you produce or how often you show up for others when you can barely show up for yourself. She's teaching us that even icons are human, and maybe their humanity is their greatest gift. Not the songs or movies or theme parks, but the reminder that we're all just doing our best with what we have. If this story moved you, if Dolly's struggle touched your heart, hit that subscribe button right now because her journey isn't over and neither is ours.